So when did you next communicate? When did you next see Mr. Depp after you got back from Australia?
I saw him a few days. I don't know how long it was, but it was at the doctor. I think my best recollection is that it was in the doctor's office or around that he needed a procedure.
Did there come a time that you reconciled after Australia?
Yes, because it almost felt like it went away so quickly because there was this surgery that he needed, and there was maybe he had more than one surgery, but it was, like it became very, very about getting Johnny through the next step, getting Johnny home, getting Johnny off the coke long enough to get the procedure done, and then after that procedure, getting another procedure done. And it was just these small steps. And before you know it, we were kind of back in it. With the prospect, of course, of him being done with all the drugs and drinking, because that's what necessarily had to happen for him to have this surgery. So that made me feel a little bit more secure and kind of coming back into this relationship with him.
Okay. So I'm going to take you to March 23, 2015, which is a few weeks after, 2.5 weeks roughly after Australia. Where was Johnny staying at this point?
I think he was staying at the Eastern Columbia, at the ECB. Yeah, he was staying at the ECB at the time because we were kind of in the bedroom together the night of the 22nd, which is when he passed out, how I found his iPad.
I'm sorry, when you...
I found his iPad open. He was texting someone with it open. He passed out, and I saw what he was texting.
Please tell the jury about that.
He was texting this woman that he had a relationship with on and off, kind of at the beginning of our relationship. So I recognized the name, but the date was right after the wedding. I saw it. He had gone to her house after we got married. Like, upon touching down in Los Angeles, I think it was the next day, he went to this woman's house that he has this sexual relationship with. And
what did you do as a result of seeing that on the iPad?
I freaked out. I immediately, confronted him about it. I was, I didn't care in that moment if he did kill me, which is likely in confronting him at that stage of our lives. I didn't even care anymore. At this moment, he had already ripped my heart out. It's like, I've just been through after having been through what I went through in Australia. Just weeks prior, I see this. It was like, unbelievably painful. Unbelievably painful.
So what did you do?
I'm yelling at him. So yelling. I was calling him all these ugly names. I was screaming at him. Told him to get the fuck out of the house. That's what I said. Excuse my language, but we were screaming at each other. At some point, we were upstairs in penthouse 3, and and we kind of get into a how do you describe it? Pushing each other, you know? And I just remember being so mad at him for cheating on me and doing so in this way, like right after the wedding. And then right after my wedding, go to see him, and then Australia happens, and it just felt like everything came crashing down, and I was so hurt.